This time of year, the coaching carousel is a huge talking point in college football, and I thought I would talk about 10 coaches who I think are on the rise and could make a huge impact on college football at some point. We're going to go through who they are, why they could be the next big thing, and where they could possibly end up. But before we get started, if you're a big fan of college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next. Now let's go ahead and get started and talk about 10 coaches on the rise. Okay, so the first guy I want to talk about is Jamey Chadwell. At this point, he has honestly sort of had a fall off, as a couple of years ago, I truly thought he was going to take a big Power 4 job, but now I don't know if it's as likely. Chadwell really got started while he was at Coastal Carolina, as he was the interim head coach for them back in 2017, but took over as the full-time head coach in 2019. While he was at Coastal, he had a couple magical seasons, as he won over 10 games twice and then had a 9-win season in 2022. He made 3 bowl games and went 39-22 in 4 years. He then took the head coaching job at Liberty, where in his first year he went 13-1 with an 8-0 record in the conference. Before then, he has fallen off. He went 8-4 in 2024, and currently the Flames are 4-5. While he's gone 25-10 through his 2.5 years at Liberty, he's starting to fall off a bit. I still think he's good enough to take a Power 4 head coaching job though, because he has won at schools where it is difficult to win, he is still relatively young, and his system has proven to at least be competitive. He's also a good evaluator of talent, and has seemingly found a lot of good quarterbacks. Speaking of guys who are a great evaluator of quarterbacks, we need to talk about Eric Morris. He's right now one of the bigger names in the coaching carousel, as he ended up being a wide receiver at Texas Tech before getting into coaching in 2010 at Houston. He ended up making his way up the college football world, as in 2018, he took the head coaching job at Incarnate Word. While he was there, he had some talented players, including a season with Cam Ward. The team was ranked 10-3 and were ranked as high as number 13 in the nation, and Cam Ward became a superstar. He then took the OC position while he was at Washington State and found the next gem quarterback in John Mateer. While ultimately he was only there for 1 season, he had found a future star in Mateer. Morris then took the head coaching job at North Texas in 2022, and over the last 3 years, he's gone a combined 19-15. North Texas made a bowl game last year and are currently off to an 8-1 start. Drew Mestemaker is now his next big thing at quarterback, and it seems that Eric Morris is not only a decent coach, but he's also a great talent evaluator at the most important position in college football, and he seems to get better in time. Honestly, he may not be able to make it in a conference like the SEC or Big Ten because of his style of offense, but Eric Morris could definitely take a Power 4 job here soon, and if he can continue to find good quarterbacks, he will always have a job. It looks like Memphis is going to send a 3rd straight coach to the Power 4, as it started with Justin Fuente, then it was Mike Norvell, and now it'll be Ryan Silverfield. He has done a great job at continuing the Memphis football tradition, as over the last couple of years, he's been pretty good. He became the full-time head coach in 2020 and has now led Memphis to 6 straight bowl games. He also has 2 seasons of over 10 wins, has sent multiple players off to the NFL, and the Tigers are still in the race for the college football playoff this year, but are sort of behind the 8 ball right now. Memphis will more than likely win 10 games for the 3rd straight year, and with that sort of track record, he's definitely going to get a Power 4 job at some point. I don't necessarily know if he'll be an elite coach, but I think he'll at least have the same sort of ceiling as Mike Norvell or Justin Fuente did, and it's worth a flyer if you're a low-tier Power 4 team. Another school that produces a ton of Power 4 head coaches is Toledo. Guys like Nick Saban, Gary Pinkel, Tim Beckman, and Matt Campbell have all come out of Toledo, and it looks like Jason Candle is the next coach in line. I've thought he was going to take a Power 4 job for a couple of years now, but after being with Matt Campbell, he followed him over to Toledo, and he took the head coaching job in 2016 when Campbell left for Iowa State. Since then, Toledo has made 8 bowl games, and they qualified for a 9th one this year, and he's won 79 games and only lost 44. They have finished 1st in the conference a couple of times, and he's also sent multiple players off to the NFL. Toledo is one of the better teams in the MAC each and every year, and I think Candle could definitely bring consistency and toughness to a team, and a school like Michigan State makes a lot of sense for me. I'm not sure if he will take that job or if he will even leave, but Candle is a good coach, and I think will have success once he eventually jumps to the Power 4. A couple of years ago, I was watching the Indiana versus Idaho game, and I thought Jason Eck was going to be a future star in the coaching world. He had them competing with the Hoosiers back in the day, and Eck since then has done a tremendous job. Idaho used to be a horrible program, and after being the offensive coordinator at South Dakota State, he took the head coaching job of the Vandals. In his first year, he went 7-5, then they went 9-4, and then last year they went 10-4. He won 26 games in 3 years at Idaho, sent multiple big-time players to the transfer portal, and then took the New Mexico head coaching job after Bronco Mendenhall left. Somehow, Mendenhall got a chance to jump up the coaching world despite not making a bowl game, but in year 1 for Eck, he has been incredible. The Lobos are currently 6-3, and I can't remember the last time they had this good of a start. They ended up beating UCLA, and they are a tough football team. With him playing offensive line at Wisconsin back in the day, honestly, he would make sense to take the Wisconsin job at some point, but with Fickell not leaving, he may have to wait another year. No matter what, I think Eck is a future star in the coaching world, and while he may not leave after this season, he will eventually end up in the Power 4. Going down to the FCS level, we need to talk about Brent Vigen. I've been hearing about this name for quite some time, as after he played at North Dakota State as a tight end, he went straight into coaching. He has been around one of the most successful programs in all of football for a long time, as from 1998 to 2013, he was on the North Dakota State staff, and eventually became the offensive coordinator in 2013. He then took the offensive coordinator job at Wyoming, and climbed his way up the Cowboys staff until 2020, when he decided to take the Montana State job. Montana State is one of the most consistent programs in the FCS right now, as they went 12-3 in 2021, 12-2 in 2022, 8-4 in 2023, and then last year the team went 15-1 while making it all the way to the national championship. He ended up having Tommy Mellott as a superstar quarterback, and Montana State finished the season ranked number 2. They have pretty much spent the entire time under Vigen in the top 10 of the FCS, and he always finds a way to do more with less. Honestly, I doubt he takes a huge job, but some are wondering if he would do well at a school like Oregon State, and I definitely see him staying in the westward part of the United States. Up next, we're to get to our first coordinator on the list, and we need to talk about Will Stein. Honestly, he feels like he's in a similar spot to Kenny Dillingham, as currently Stein is the offensive coordinator at Oregon. Dan Lanning has proven to find good coordinators, and after playing quarterback at Louisville, Stein has quickly gone up the coaching ranks, as he was really discovered by Jeff Traylor at UTSA. In 2023, Stein would end up taking the offensive coordinator job at Oregon, and this was a huge deal. He has helped the Ducks have a super successful offense, has recruited really well, and has now developed 3 straight good quarterbacks in Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, and Dante Moore. If somehow, some way, Jeff Brom takes the head coaching job somewhere else, many are already pointing to Will Stein to take over the Cardinals job, as he played there back in the day, but no matter what, when you're a good coordinator at a big-time program, you're probably going to eventually get plucked. Stein's also super young, and as I said, I feel like he's on a similar path to Kenny Dillingham, and the two seem extremely similar. For our last 3 guys, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest names in my opinion. The first one is Jon Sumrall. He has been linked to a ton of head coaching jobs over the last few weeks, as some think he'll go to Auburn, some even say LSU, and some even say Florida. Sumrall ended up playing at Kentucky before he worked his way up the coaching staff and got his big break while he was at Kentucky coaching defenses. He took the head coaching job at Troy in 2022, where in his 2 seasons there, he led the Trojans to an incredible 23-4 record, 2 back-to-back bowl games, 2 10-win seasons, only 2 conference losses, and they even were ranked at one point. This guy is honestly a stud, and in his first year at Tulane in 2024, the team went 9-5 before also making a bowl game. Tulane is currently 7-2 in 2025 so far, and they still have a chance at making the college football playoff, while it would be tough. I've seen Sumrall linked to practically every coaching job in college football, but if somehow some way Coach Stoops gets kicked out of Kentucky, I definitely see Sumrall going there, as he played and coached there. Sumrall might not be the most exciting coach in the world, but he's gone 39-11 as a head coach, and wins don't lie. Our second to last guy is going to be USF head coach Alex Golesh. Ridiculously, Golesh was born in Russia and ended up going to Ohio State. I don't think he ever played college football, but he went into coaching and eventually moved up the staff at Illinois, then was at Iowa State, UCF, and then the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. That's where Golesh really started to become a big name, as he helped Tennessee shatter their single-season records in terms of offense, and then he took the head coaching job at USF. In 2023, the Bulls went 7-6, and then last year they also went 7-6. So far this year, USF is 7-2, they ended up beating Florida in the Swamp, and they have lots of talented players. What people don't really realize is how bad of a spot USF was in when Jeff Scott was fired, so he's done an incredible job. He's put energy back into the program, has made the Bulls competitive, and has now won back-to-back bowl games. They're also still in contention for the college football playoff, and while it will be tough, there is still a chance. Golesh is seen as one of the next big things in coaching, and I think he will eventually end up in the SEC. Alright, and last but not least, we get to my favorite coach in this year's coaching carousel, and that is Bob Chesney. I did a full feature on him a couple of weeks ago, so you should check that one out, but so far Szczesny is 17-5 in his 2 years at James Madison. With how Curt Cignetti has done at Indiana, everybody's wanting to get their hands on the next coach from JMU. Going back in time though, he has always done more with less. He went 23-9 at Salve Regina University, which was absolutely horrible. He then went to Assumption College and went 44-16, and then turned Holy Cross into a FCS power. He won 44 games in 6 years at Holy Cross, and that led him to taking the JMU job. He went 9-4 in 2024 with a bowl win, and so far this year, JMU is 8-1, 6-0 in the conference, and their only loss is against Louisville. Szczesny apparently has an unorthodox style of coaching, but he is legit. He's young, he gets the most out of his players, and honestly, many are saying he feels like a Dan Lanning or a Marcus Freeman type coach. I think Szczesny's results speak for himself, as he has won everywhere, and if I'm an AD of a school, I'm going to try to get Szczesny. He's personally my favorite coach. But what do you guys think? Who's a coach I left off the list I could put in part 2? Who do you want to see take various head coaching jobs? And what topics should I do next? Be sure to let me know down below. Leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you're new, and check out one of the videos on the end screen. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.